This is hands down the number one reason why people get scared to start their cashless ATM business. Hey guys, if this is your first time on this channel, my name is Get Tekla, retired police sergeant turned full-time entrepreneur, and I break down exactly how you can start your business on the side, guys. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button just to get some more business tips, more stories when it comes down to the law enforcement side, the military side, and hey, sometimes you just want to have some fun, guys, right? And of course, make sure you comment below. Comment the city and state you watch this from, or maybe what you do for a living now, just so we can get some more perspective on the videos that you'd want to see in the future, all right? So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why people don't start their cashless ATM business or even any business that requires sales, right? So in case you didn't know, and I mention this all the time, I was a former police sergeant, and here's the reason why I bring this up. That field required you to actually talk to people. And I'm telling you right now, nowadays in life, people just don't want to talk to people. How many guys you know that are just like literally on their phone 24/7? You ever been to an elevator? You ever been to a coffee shop? You ever been waiting in line for anything? You look up and down and all you see is this. No one talks to people anymore. But guess what? That's also the reason why people don't start their business, especially a business that requires you to talk to business owners. Here's the reason why. It sucks. It's scary sometimes. You get a little anxiety. Maybe your palms start sweating. Your feet start sweating. You're like, oh, I got to talk to this person again. But it's okay. Everyone goes through that. It's funny. This is the exact same thing I would tell my guys in field training that I'm going to tell you to actually help you secure actual good spots. Okay. So the first thing I tell them is not, hey, imagine them naked or whatever. I just say, guess what? Everyone is scared. Everybody. Everyone is scared of something. And here's the reason why I bring this up. You're going to go to an actual person and you think everything's perfect. And what I mean by that is you're thinking like, oh, they're looking at me, this. No one cares. Absolutely no one cares. The moment you walk out, they're going to forget who you are. So if you approach it with that same thing, think of it like this. If you go on an airplane or you go to a bathroom at an airport, or if you go to some random restaurant on vacation, do you think anyone in that room is going to remember who you were? 6 months from now, they're like, oh, man, remember that guy in that black freaking polo? Man, that guy didn't know what he was talking about. No one cares. Approach it with that same mentality. That way, when you go there, you're going to remember this thing that I always say. Rejection is better than regret. Think about that for a second. Now, in the course of, law enforcement, it was a different perspective when you say rejection, right? But in general, when you're talking about sales or businesses that require sales, that's it. Rejection is better than regret. Would you rather 10 years from now see an account that switches over to another credit card processing provider because you see a little device that changes one day? You talk to them like, hey, what happened? Like, oh man, 9 years ago, I was sitting there. I'm like, man, if only someone would just come in because this machine doesn't work anymore. And you're sitting there like, wait a second, that could have been me. So you don't want that to actually happen. Okay. Rejection is better than regret. Always remember that. But in addition to that, nobody cares. So when you're approaching people, always talk about something that is similar to them. Okay. This is what we call rapport. Whether you're in sales or whether you're in law enforcement or in some other field, it doesn't matter. It's called rapport. Relevant to them. Don't talk about the weather. That is surface level. What you really want to get to is something that's relevant to them. This also requires another thing. Make sure you write this down. Attention to detail. Pay attention. Look at their shoes. Look at what they're wearing. Look at how they present themselves. Look at how they lean. Check out their tattoos. Not the image, but what's it say on there? Because that says a lot about the person. Because if you're able to relate to that person, guess what? People do business with people they like. Think about that for a second. Think about all the places you go to. If you had a bad experience with that waiter, bad experience with that barista, would you go back there? No. However, if you're that business person and you're going there and you're saying, hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you doing? How's the family? How's Christina? Hey, did she finish ballerina yet? Yeah, she just turned this. Awesome. Cool. Hey, what's going on with your machine? That's super dirty. This. I'm like, yeah, man, I keep running into issues with the current provider. I'm like, well, what are they doing for you? Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff leads into a genuine conversation, which leads to putting your foot in the door to switching over processing. So these are all baby steps, which is another thing. Write this down. Baby steps, guys. It's number 3. Don't look at things as like one big jump. Think of it as like a baby. That's how I approach situations when I'm talking to people, when I'm just trying to get them to a specific goal. It's baby steps. Crawl, walk, run. You're not going to go there and like, hey, sir, would you like me to search your house? Obviously not. But when you actually converse with them and you say, hey, this is why it's in your benefit because this person called, they're saying there's dead people here, etc., you start seeing how there's different steps to that. Now, that's the extreme end. Let's take it back to this side, okay? Which is the baby steps of conversations leading into actions, leading into results. So you have that conversation with that person, you repeat, you follow up with them, then you actually converse with them some more another time. Then you decide, hey, you know what? Next time I come by, do you mind if I just bring by a device like this? And then you show up the next day. You say, hey, this is that example I was talking to you about. Whatever happened with your machine? Then they break down again. And after a few follow-ups, guess what happens? Eventually, they're like, hey, you know what? Do you mind just letting me test out your service? Let me sign up. And you've just secured your account, guys, right? So when it comes down to this business, it's very simple. I know it's scary talking to people sometimes. It's uncomfortable. Maybe you think, hey, sales isn't for me. I'm not the type of person. You associate some type of character trait. But I'm telling you right now, look at it from the perspective of a cop. And I know this sounds crazy because 99% of people would not want to be cops. But the reason I bring this up is you got to ask yourself this. How is that person able to converse with people? He looks like a normal person. She looks like a normal person. If they're able to do it on the extreme side, you will have no problem doing it with just conversing with people, guys, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button because we're going to be pushing out content like crazy, guys. Again, I'm Tekla, CEO of merchandisingautomation.com, and I'll catch you guys on our next video.